morning, guys. Happy Thursday. One day closer to Friday. So close to the weekend. And then you will be back on, well, you guys get Monday off, you get Tuesday off, so you'll be back next Wednesday. So we still got a little while till we see each other, but we're going to get right into it. So today, again, the reason why I love Fantastic Five, it gives you that advantage of seeing things before other fourth graders get to see them, because you guys have now been dealing with multiples since Monday in Fantastic Five. And with how well we've been doing with that question, I think it's number one in Fantastic Five. I think today should go really smoothly. You should still watch the video and still get the extra practice, but I do feel really good about the multiples. Now, I would feel a lot better about the multiples if we knew our multiplication facts as well as I would like us to, but we know we've got that calculator to help us with the factors and the multiples, but eventually we'll get there. So just to kind of get you warmed up, remember when we're talking about multiples, basically we're listing any number that it's basically the opposite of a factor. I can take this number and I can multiply it to get another number. So skip counting by twos would tell me a way to give me all my multiples of 2. And you always start with 2 times 1. All right, so 2 times 1 would give me 2. The next multiple would be 2 times 2, I'd get 4. Next multiple would be 2 times 3, I'd get 6. But you can skip count by twos. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and we can go on and on and on and on. And something to think about when you're finding multiples of 2, it's always going to end in an even number, 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, if you're counting by twos. And there's a ton of tricks, actually, that we're going to talk about when it comes to multiples of certain numbers. And we just had those. Multiples of 2, we just had those. When it says what are multiples, like I just said, it's the product of any two whole numbers. So basically the opposite of those factors that we've been looking at. Now, if you ever have to look at a hundreds board and we're looking for multiples of 2, you would just do every 2 numbers. Multiples of 5, you would do every 5 numbers. So if I'm looking for multiples of 2, boom, boom, I'm going to every 2 numbers, and you'll notice the pattern. They're all going to be right below each other, just like that. And you could go all the way down to 100. So remember, multiples of 2 are always going to end in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, ending in an odd number. With multiples of 5, which we'll look at those as well, you guys can skip count by 5s as well. You've been doing that for a long time. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, all the way to 100. And same thing here, it would just be every 5th number. Boom, 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 boom. And again, you see the pattern there. Now, with 5s, you know it's a multiple of 5 if it ends in 0 or 5. If it ends in anything other than 0 or 5, it's not going to be a multiple of 5. 5 could not be a factor of a number unless it ends in 0 or 5. Then if you're looking at multiples of 9, there's a trick here too. You would start at 9 because 9 times 1 is 9. Maybe. And it would just be every 9th number. Now, the way to know that a number is a multiple of 9, if you look at 18, if you do 1 plus 8, that gives you 9. 2 plus 7 gives you 9. 3 plus 6, 9. 4 plus 5, 9, etc., etc. So if your 2 digits add up to give you 9, it's going to be a multiple of 9. 9 would be a factor of that number. So you got all sorts of tricks to kind of help you as you're looking at some of these numbers. And with 10, it's very similar. Another easy one that you can count by, 10, 20, 30, 40. If it ends in 0, it's going to be a multiple of 10. Any number that ends in 0 is going to have a factor. A 10 would be a factor of that number, except for the number 0, obviously. So I'm not really worried about that part as much as I'm worried about this. Because in class, I'm going to put this slide up, and I'm going to say, hey, I want to know the first, 10 multiples of 3. This is easy if you know your facts, because you can just run through it. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2, 6. 3 times 3, 9. And you could go all the way down, and I'm able to do this super quick just because, like I said, I know my multiplication tables. If you didn't, you could start with 3 and go 4, 5, 6. Boom. 7, 8, 9. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Takes a little bit longer. If I wanted to do multiples of 4, same thing. Start with 4 times 1. 4. Times 2, times 3, times 4, and so on and so on. If you have the calculator, it makes it so much easier because you can actually plug in 4 times 1, 4 times 2, 4 times 3. I want us to be able to do it without the calculator, but until we get to that point, if you've got it, use it. If you're going to be able to on tests on the EOG, might as well use it. Sweet. All right, let me clear that out. Now, it's easier with those smaller numbers. All right, with the bigger numbers, they're all easy with the calculator, but with the bigger numbers, if you don't know your facts, you're probably going to have to be more likely to use the calculator. So this is asking, and it's given us 3, 6, 9. It's given us 12 different answer choices. It says which numbers would be a multiple of 7. So you can either look at these choices down here, come on, and say, ooh, I know 7 times something to give me 1, or I know 7 times something to get me 25. Or you can just, like we've done in Fantastic 5, list all of your multiples. Now, you don't have to count all the way to 100. Look at the biggest number that I've given you, 49. So I'm going to list my multiples of 7 at least till I get to 49, or at least I can get past it. So 7 times 1, 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, 42, 49. And I can stop right there because there's no numbers bigger than that. Then I could just go through and see which ones would be multiples of 7. 1 would not be. I can't do 7 times anything to get 1. That's a multiple, 7 times 1. That's a multiple, 7 times 2. Looking at my multiples, I skip right past 18. 21 works, 7 times 3. I skip right past 25. 28 works, 7 times 4. I skip right past 30. 35 works, 7 times 5. I skip right over 41. 7 times 6 gave me 42. 7 times 7 gave me 49. And it doesn't take you long to list those multiples, whether you do it in your head or with the calculator. So I'm going to give you a chance to look at this one. I'd like you to pause it. I want you to list your multiples of 8. Now, you got to go a little bit further on this one because if you look at your biggest number. So list your multiples of 8. Write down which ones you think are multiples of 8, and then play the video back so you can see if you got it correct. So I'm going to have to maybe do this a little bit smaller. I'm going to list my multiples: 8, 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, 56, 64, 72, 80. I'm going to go down here, 88, 96. Now I'm going to keep going just because I haven't gotten to that last number yet. 104. All right. So again, I can do that quick because I know my facts, but if you have a calculator, 8 times 1, 8 times 2, 8 times 3, blah, 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 boom, boom, boom. All right. I did land on 8. 8 times 1. 12, I skipped right past. 16, I landed on. 8 times 2. Went right past 30. 8 times 4 got me 32. 8 times 5 got me 40. I skipped right past 54. 8 times 7 gave me 56. 8 times 9 gave me 72. Skipped right past 81. 8 times 11 gives me 88. Skip right past 100. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those numbers would have been a multiple of 8. Mouse. Cool. All right. Now remember the trick that we talked about. You can pause the video again, but remember, it's not a multiple of 5 unless it ends in 0 or 5. So realistically, nope, I'm not going to say anything. Pause this video and figure out which one of those would be multiples. So what I was going to say is, realistically, for a number like 5, you don't even have to list the multiples. As long as it ends in 0 or 5, you already know it's a multiple of 5. So 1 would not work. That ends in 5. That ends in 5. That ends in 0. That ends in 5. That ends in 0. That ends in 5. That ends in 0. So with a number like 5, you can do that. With a number like 10, if it ends in 0, you can do that. If it's talking about multiples of 2, if it ends in an even number, you can do it this way. So those tricks can help you. Same thing for 9s. If the 2 digits add up to give you 9, you might not have to list the multiples. Those things could come in handy and help you down the road. What happened here? Come on. All right, so let me get my spaceships loaded up here. I'm going to say them, and I'm going to pause kind of for a second. I'm going to give you a chance to decide where it's going to go. I'm just going to start with multiples of 2. So you're going to talk to yourself here. Would 16 be a multiple of 2? Yes, it would. It ends in an even number. All right. Would 3 be a multiple of 2? No. Would 21 be a multiple of 2? Nope. Would 12 be a multiple of 2? Yes, it ends in an even number. What about 8? Even number. I think we just had 12. That is a multiple of 2, so I don't know why it's saying it's not. 12 is a multiple of 2. It ends in an even number. All right. What about 9? No. 15? No. Odd number. 26? Yes. 20? Yes. If it ends in 0, 2, 4, 6, or 8, it is a multiple of 2. Oh, I think I know why 12 was on there twice now. That makes sense, Mr. Huber. 4 multiples of 3. 3 times 1, 3 times 2, 3 times 3. 3 would be a multiple, 3 times 1. 21 would be a multiple, 3 times 7. 12 would be a multiple, 3 times 4. 9 would be 3 times 3. 15 would be 3 times 5. Ready for another trick? Get my marker here. So 15 was a number, 12 was a number, 18 was a number. There is also a trick to figure out any time if a number is a multiple of 3. Let's start with 15. If I had 15 plus 1, that gives me 6. If you can divide this number up here by 3 evenly, that means this is a multiple of 3. I can do 6 divided by 3 and get 2. That means 15 is a multiple. All right, if I did 1 plus 2, that gives me 3. If you can divide 3 by 3 evenly, that means 12 is a multiple of 3. 3 divided by 3 goes in 1 time. Boom. Same thing for 18. 1 plus 8 is 9. I can divide 9 by 3 evenly 3 times. That means this is a multiple. Now it works for big numbers too. If I did 504, I could add all 3 of these up. 5 plus 0 is 5, plus 4 is 9. Again, I can do 9 divided by 3 evenly, which means 504 is a multiple of 3. So I've given you all sorts of tricks. I gave you one for 9s. You can add those numbers up. They're going to be equal to 9. 5s end in 0 or 5. 10s end in 0. 2s end in an odd number. 3s, you can add up the digits and they have to be divisible by 3. A lot of stuff that you can use to help you here. I think I got another spaceship thing here. Maybe. I don't know what that was. So here's what I want you to do. Pause this video, and I want you on a sheet of paper somewhere, split it in half, put multiples of 5 on one side, multiples of 9 on the other. Put the numbers where they should fall, and once you have them all listed somewhere, press play, come back and see if you had them organized in the right way. So I know 81 is a multiple of 9 for a couple reasons. I could go 9 times 9, or if I add 8 and 1, that gives me 9. Boom. 36. I know I can do 9 times 4 to get 36, but also I know 3 plus 6 gives me 9. Boom. 27, I know is a multiple of 9. 9 times 3, I know my facts. And guess what 2 plus 7 is? 63. I know that's 9 times 7. I also know 6 plus 3 gives me 9. 54. 9 times 6. 5 plus 4 also gives me 9. I hate that these are all in order, but whatever. Multiples of 5. I know every single one of these are going to be multiples of 5 because they either end in 0 or 5. Cool. So those tricks can help you. Just a quick check real quick. I'm going to have these multiples listed. This is going to be their question of the day. But we're just going to do it together. If I'm looking here, trying to figure out what it's kind of like a pattern, what I'm moving by. I'm counting by 2s here. So my multiples of 2, I go from 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10 to 12 to 14. So here you can see I'm finding multiples of 4. See if you can fill in those blanks for me. I go from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16 to 20. Number 3, I'm going multiples of 5. So 5 times 1 gave me 5. See if you can fill in the rest of the blanks. I'd go 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. All right. For number 4, list the first 5 multiples of 9. Remember, you always start with 9 times 1. So first we would have 9. What else would we have? Pause it, figure it out. You should be going 18, 27, 36, 45. And then one last time, pause this video, see if you can answer number 5, the first 5 multiples of 6. Should have had 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. So there was a pretty rapid pace that I went on right there. By the way, there's a game right here that you can play with multiples. I'll upload that to the announcement. I know I moved fairly quick there, but again, you've been seeing this in Fantastic Five now 4 days in a row, if you've been watching the videos the way you should have. So even though that was kind of quick, I think you guys already have a pretty good understanding of what is expected with that. And I think you know different strategies, especially with the calculator, ways that you can solve it to make sure that you're getting it right, or just to check your work. I think it's really good to possibly write down some of those tips that I gave you, those hints with like the 2s, the 5s, the 10s. I gave you one with 9, gave you one with 3. Those could help you even on your assignment that you're about to do. So thank you guys for watching the video. I'm thinking we're probably pretty good on multiples. And the more we practice with our multiples, the better our multiplication is going to get, which will be great. All right, guys, appreciate you watching. Good luck.